So the last two movies I reviewed were Chasing Amy and Dogma, so it only makes sense to go right into Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I got this on Blu-ray for $3 at Half Price Books, so that was pretty exciting. And I'd obviously known about this movie ever since it came out, and never had any interest in seeing it necessarily. But yeah, I'm not going to say the story I've already said, because if you've seen the other Kevin Smith videos, you know the whole story about whatever. So, to make a long story short, I ended up seeing Jay and Silent Bob finally strike back, and it was cool to see, because you kind of, to be honest, when you watch like Chasing Amy, you're kind of like, when are they going to show up, kind of a thing, And that was very interesting because in Dogma it was the same thing. It's like, when are they going to show up? And then you're glad when they show up so soon, and then they're with them the whole. You're kind of glad that they're with the whole movie or a lot of the movie, because you kind of like them. So it was the perfect time for him to just go ahead and do a movie about those two characters. And like I've said before, and I think the Zack and Miri Make a Porno review, is by the time you're done with the movie, you're very much aware of the fact that you do never need to see another movie with them as the main characters ever again. Now I imagine, I haven't seen Clerks 2 yet. Oh, that's the other movie I haven't seen, Clerks 2. So I haven't seen that yet, but I can only imagine they're in there. Now, first of all, the beginning of this movie is kind of goddamn great, where it starts with, maybe the baby stuff is kind of funny, but then it will, morph or fade into present day, and outside a quick stop in the video store again, and that was cool. It's always cool to see that location, which is, I think, seen briefly in Chasing Amy. Is that correct? I think. Perhaps, but I don't think we saw the guy who was the video store guy in Chasing Amy. I don't think. So this is the first time, as far as I know, that we see. I don't know why I can't remember his name, but the video store guy who works at the video store again, and it was just really cool to. I think it's the first time don't quote me, but it might be the first time we actually saw inside Quick Stop since Clerks. Don't quote me because I've only seen Chasing Amy once. So anyway, regardless, I like how it begins at the Quick Stop and all this and that, and I've seen this rather recently, but of course it kind of faded away, and I can't even remember what the hell they're doing and why. Yeah, I can't remember what the hell they're doing and why. It's almost like the Blues Brothers, like to a certain extent, where they have this mission to go to Hollywood and stop a movie from being made or something. One thing I never saw Good Will Hunting, but one thing that was kind of funny was like the Good Will Hunting 2 hunting season. I mean, come on, that's great, because I think there's generally a lot of hate for Good Will Hunting because it's one of those like Dead Poets. I don't know anything about it, but it seems like one of the Dead Poets Society kind of movies where it's just like, whatever, And as far as I know, they actually got Gus Van Sant, or if that's how you say his name, to actually make a cameo as a director of Good Will Hunting 2, hunting season, which was kind of funny. But this is pretty entertaining. I might have to go 3 stars on this because it's really entertaining. It seems to me like there's all kinds of cameos. Once again, George Carlin has a part of a guy who gives head for getting hitchhiked. Oh, okay, yeah. And then all these bitches pick him up in a van, and with Shannon Elizabeth, and they do the bitches were kind of, I don't know, whatever, funny or something. Then they just use them so they can be the patsies when they go rob the. Oh Christ! I know what the movie's about. I mean, see, this is the third movie in what's called the I believe. Don't quote me, but I think this is the third movie in what's called the Jersey Trilogy for Kevin Smith. So, which is obviously established in what I'm blanking right now. Chasing Amy, where the Jay and Silent Bob characters are, which I didn't mention in that review, are written in as comic book heroes. So basically, I think the premise of this movie is they're going to make a movie about these heroes, and they're going to go to stop the movie from being made, or go to try to stop the movie from being made. I think because if they're not going to get a cut, they don't want the movie made, which only makes sense. So the premise is kind of fun, and there's all kinds of cameos. Oh, Carrie Fisher There's a cameo with Carrie Fisher, which is like, I wish I could remember all the cameos. I mean, Mark Hamill's at the end, you know, Carrie. So you almost have, this is almost like episode 7 almost, you know. If Harrison Ford would have been in it, you might could just call it episode 7 before they're actually doing episode 7, which that'll be so funny. That'll be interesting to see. Hopefully they can shoot it before, you know, any of them pass on, or like Carrie or Mark or Harrison pass on. But I can't imagine they'd have big parts. They'll probably just all be blown up like in the very beginning or something like that. Blah! Just all die, you know, and then the Emperor will be like, "Told you so," you know, "Gotcha." But anyway, I'm branching off like I've been known to do. So what am I talking about? Zach, and Mary, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. So the premise was actually really funny, and I just remember that when they got to the set, that guy from American Pie is playing Silent Bob, right? And I can't remember who was playing Jay. It's another guy who's well known or something like that. But I thought that was funny, and so there's a lot of funny stuff in this. So I'd say it's a solid 3-star funny movie. And like I say, after it's done, you completely never want to see like them make another movie that's about Jay and Silent Bob ever again, which obviously is probably not going to happen. So Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, you know, Shannon Elizabeth with her little implants is, you know, kind of cute in the movie, and you're just jealous every time Muse gets to suck face with her, but whatever. She's not natural, so it's not a big deal. But, you know, Carrie Fisher cameo, Mark Hamill, I mean, he even says, like, it's Mark Hamill, like, when he comes out, and he's doing a very tricksterish, you know, part, you know, he's like, God damn it, why can't I, like, get a part where I don't have to, I always wear these, you know, spandex. Can I get a part where I just wear jeans? So, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, a solid 3 stars. Can't, unfortunately, think of anything specific, but I know that there's probably a lot of funny little bits in the movie. So, you know, Dogma was getting ready for, you know, was ambitious, which was surprisingly ambitious, and then, you know, I think he knocks it up even a little further with Jay and Silent Bob in the ambition department. Oh yeah, Wes Craven even has a cameo. I can't remember what he's making. Oh, there's like a Scream parody or something like that. So there's a lot of cameos. I wish I could remember more, but I can't. So thanks for watching Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and we'll catch you next time.